proud of the fact that we've got to 10 wins already, considering we won 10 games all of last year. But we got a daunting task in front of us to start off play at Kentucky. Obviously, a really talented ball club, unique individuals as far as like their talent level. But we've been preparing for them here these past couple of days and looking forward to the challenge.
Coach, what's kind of different compared to last year going into SEC play? I mean, as far as you knowing your team and them knowing their roles, I know you touched on it a little bit this morning.
Yeah, I think our guys have done a really good job of accepting their roles. We're not a good shooting basketball team, but we've done a good job of like penetrating the paint and trying to make plays and doing some high-low feeding, getting the ball into the paint. But I think the biggest difference is we have a year of maturity underneath our belt. And when you have maturity, it's a little bit more easier to accept who you are and what your role is on an individual team. So I think our guys have done a pretty decent job of doing that. The thing that's still hard for us at this point in time was we're back to having just 8 scholarship players. And so that's a situation that's a little difficult for you. But if you got the right 8 scholarship players, you still have a chance.
You said after the win this past weekend that you were still kind of mulling over rotations. Is that going to take time in SEC play and games in SEC play before you kind of have that nailed down?
Yeah, I really believe so. I think more so than anything, it's going to take experience. I think Jacoby's got to get out there and see what he does. I think Tyson's got to get out there and see what he does. I think Tyson's a little bit of a constant because you know what Tyson's going to give you, and then the possibility of Tevin. But my biggest concern is that emergency 4 spot. If we're in a situation where 2 of our bigs are in foul trouble, then who's that emergency 4? We got to figure that out.
Speaking of the bigs, how do you plan to combat Kentucky's side, especially their rebounding margin, one of the best in the SEC? Yeah,
that's your biggest concern with Kentucky is their rebounding margin. I think you can do some things to maybe get a stop, but the stop doesn't end unless you get that defensive rebound. And they got so many guys with length. They go get the basketball. And then you look at Randall. Randall's the type of kid that you can say you're going to force him to shoot shots, but that's easier said than done because he's so big and strong that he puts his head down, he drives, he spins. He's just relentless attacking the basket. He's such a big, strong kid. And then I think really Cauley-Stein has done a tremendous job of improving. I thought last year that he didn't have the strength and the physicality, but he's done a good job with his strength development, and now he's moving around so much better. He's able to switch ball screens, he's able to guard point guards, he's able to affect the rim at the shot. So I think he's done a really good job of becoming a better basketball player.
What challenges does Julius Randle present down in the post as well?
Well, I mean, I think it's a situation there like, he's a lottery pick, and anytime you hit a lottery pick, you're going to present some challenges. But the thing about him is he's such a physical presence. He's the type of person that just doesn't settle for jump shots. He'll take a couple jump shots here and there, but if you play off of him, he's not just going to shoot it. He's still going to attack the rim. And that's what makes him so hard and difficult to guard. And the other thing is he draws fouls all the time. I mean, he's such a presence down there that he'll attack the basket, and with that big body, he continues to draw fouls.
I know at the beginning of the season you said there would be some walk-ons, maybe second semester that come on and help. Is there any chance that might happen in the next couple of weeks? I don't foresee that. Who we have right now is what I think is going to be part of our team.
You expect Duranier to eventually be?
I haven't talked to Coach Mullen about that. I haven't talked to Bear about it, so it's a wait-and-see pattern on that.
Rick, you said it in your statement after Dre made his decision that transfers are just kind of becoming a part of college basketball in general. Just your thoughts on the transfer element in college basketball, and it's not exactly a new phenomenon, but do you feel like it's kind of gotten out of hand over the last couple of years?
Well, yeah, I think it's gotten out of hand if you just look at the numbers. But I think you're in a tough situation. You got 13 scholarship players. I mean, most people play 9 to 10 people. And so you're always going to have about 3 or 4 guys that don't see the court. And no one recruits somebody and says, like, hey, I'm recruiting you to come and you're going to ride the bench. Nobody pushes yourself. And that's it. We all recruit every player the same, like coming in and being a contributor to Mississippi State basketball. And sometimes when those guys don't make those contributions, we're in a microwave society where they want instant success, and so you have a transfer rate. So I think it's unfortunately a common thing, but I don't think it's something that reflects negatively on any program.
Does the waiver kind of reflect, or the numerous amounts of waivers in the last couple of years kind of negatively affect what the transfer can mean and what it is?
Well, if I had my druthers, it would be if you transfer, you sit out a year, regardless of the situation. I just think that the NCAA has kind of painted themselves in the corner where this person got a waiver, so this person's in the same situation, so automatically should get a waiver. And if the NCAA doesn't grant that waiver, then they're putting themselves in a bad situation with the law. So I just think that they should make a blanket statement. You transfer, you sit out a year.